You are with the Skeinz Diaries. It is episode 196. I'm Maree, and 27th of September. And I know it's a Tuesday, but of course it's because we all, if you were here in New Zealand, we all had a day off yesterday, which was all absolutely wonderful and fine. So welcome along. And as you can see, I have the lovely Eliza with us. If you've not met Eliza before, she has got 6 months.
Something like that.
I know. Where'd that go? I know, went too fast. Elisa started with us during Epic Sale, and we didn't scare her off. So she's still here.
I'm still here.
She is still here. And if you saw our new entwined pattern that was out, she was modelling that on the front cover. And you've come via the way of the Netherlands to us here in the Fairhawks Bay. So we're very lucky. And as I mentioned in the newsletter last week, she's a chef. So she's made us all up our culinary game, which is a good thing. It is a very good thing. But she's clutching a bucket in her hot little hand because I'm going to get the draw out of the way nice and quick. Eliza is here to do the draw for the two incredible prize packs. So she's doing the draw for in-store. That's why I was a little bit late, because I actually did the draw with team for online just before I came to air, so we could get that. So you don't dive in there and pick one out. Woohoo, you've got one. Right.
Who is it going to be?
Who is it going to be? Oh gosh, judging by the length of the receipt, they spent plenty. It is Janine Coley. So Janine, if you are watching, we will be in touch because you have won the incredible, actually, and it is one of these here. It is probably that, no, this one actually, because it's all, look at that. This huge big prize pack. So what we have, you can hold that. We have the Kelly & Co, a full packet of Kelly & Co in the Swilly, because there she is. You also get a copy of the entwined pattern, so you'll get that, plus a couple of skeins of our hand-dipped merino. There's some sweet goodies, and also the self-love needle set from Knit Pro. So that is an amazing prize. So well done to you. And online, we ran the generator across all the orders, and I literally ran them twice. So I would do, I got a random number. The first number didn't qualify, but the second number that we ran on the random generator did qualify for the birthday prize. And that was Kate Nye, and Kate is from all the way up in Kitty up north. So Kate, you are getting that prize as well, except you've got the Nova needle kit from Knit Pro as well. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Eliza. She's helped me draw that out. So congratulations to both Kate and Janine for winning those prizes. Both of them are worth over $400. So we will get those out. We'll contact Janine because we're assuming you're local. And if not, we will get those prizes out to you this week. Yeehaw. Oh, I like giving things away. It's loads of fun. I know it's a Tuesday, and I throw everyone off because I'm usually not here on a Tuesday. But I thought I would come and get that prize draw done for everybody. And I've got a dropped yarn all over the floor. How was everyone's days yesterday? I actually got a lot of knitting done across the 2 days, yesterday and the day before, which was wonderful. And I have been working on my Fox Bay cardigan, which is by Erica Knight, and the link to that cardigan is in the show notes when you start. Oh. So this is it here. I've got the actual book, the Pebble Beach collection book, which this comes from. You can buy it as an individual pattern from rowan.com. And of course, I like to print all my patterns out because, as you can see, I scribble all over them. So to recap, I have been knitting this pattern. I have cast on one size and made modifications to the actual finished size that I want to wear, which is one size smaller, because I'm smaller at the top than what I am at the bottom. And dun, 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 it's not obviously blocked yet, but I have finished my back, and there it is. Ta-da! So there's my back. So as you can see, and if I had actually steamed this, you could probably see it better. But there's an ever so subtle taper on the side seam. So what I have cast on at this bottom ribbed edge at the bottom is one size, and I have done the tapering through this portion here. So the top half of my back is done to the size that I actually want. Now this is designed for, as you can see, loads of positive. It's plenty big enough for me. I want this like a big relaxed sloppy Joe cardigan. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping lots and lots of positive ease. And as you can see, there is my neckline shaping. So that's all done. And I haven't, excuse me, I haven't actually checked the neckline shaping for the back. I haven't checked actually to see what it's like. We'll get to that when we get to that. But needless to say, so far so good. Absolute doddle, easiest thing in the world to knit. So that's where I'm at to. So fast, honestly. After doing a design that had a 6-row pattern repeat, and in fact I've done a number of designs recently, well, garments at least, which have had either cabling or a little bit more required to it, and just to have a plain stocking stitch garment like this has been so fast, so fast. It's been great actually. I've been quite enjoying it. So I've now started the fronts. So this is where I'm at now. So I've just started my, I think I've done I've just done my second tapered decrease for the front. So that's my front there. And it's got this nice sort of little ribbed edge here. So that's where I'm at. And actually she's put this nice little sort of moss selvage on that to stop that curling on the edge as well. So yeah, I got loads of knitting done yesterday, which I was really happy about. That, of course, is in Vintage DK and Diva, and as I said, the pattern is called Fox Bay by Erica Knight. So great news there. So I'm really pleased, very, very pleased at the progress on those. Now, I've already sent the newsletter out this morning. You may or may not have seen it. I had a couple of emails and just a couple of messages over the last sort of week or so, just for people asking for pattern ideas and suggestions to use for our hand-dipped yarns. And I thought, well, actually, that's a pretty fair question. Because that's the thing. I mean, often now, and I don't know whether you guys are like this, but often now we're purchasing yarns with a very specific project in mind. So, of course, when we throw up a hand dip that often sells very, very quickly or is only available for a very limited time, you're then thrown into this sort of mad panic of what on earth am I going to knit with this conundrum. So I thought, well, actually, it does make sense to give you some ideas of people to actually look for. How do we find a pattern idea to actually knit with that particular yarn? And I know that this is something Ethan and I have talked about a lot, and I don't know about you, but I know often for years that whole concept of going down the rabbit hole, the Ravelry hole, and you're looking and you start searching and you're not quite sure what you want to knit. Do you want to knit a one skein project? Do you filter it by the number of meters that you have? Do you filter it by the whether it's a shawl or a hat or an accessory or a cardigan or... Look, the possibilities are endless. And then quite often what happens is you quite often end up going around and around in circles, and then you'll find just the thing that you want, and it's constructed in a way that you don't like to knit, or you're not prepared to sort of tackle that project at the difficulty level that it's at, or you don't. I mean, there'll be something. It's like, how do you find the Goldilocks of patterns? And one of the things that I advocate for, I always have done, and I know Ethan at HQ advocates for this as well, is actually instead of searching for a pattern in style, is actually search via designer. Because you do end up having designers that you love and people that never let you down, that you enjoy and that you really like. And what it does is it deliberately narrows your scope. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes I think we get too much choice and it just throws your head into a spin and you just can't figure out what it is that you want to do. So when it came to the dips, and these are the dips that we've still got available at the moment, because we have been doing larger runs, because we've had people say to us that the dips have been going up, selling out too quickly, and people have been getting upset because they've been missing out. So these dips here are the ones that have all been in larger vat runs. So we've been able, in the bigger dip vat, so we've been able to do more for you. So we've still got the hecates, which is a little bit left over from earlier in the month, from can actually. This is one of the can colours. We've got a little bit of this left, along with the Hypnos, a little bit of that, which is the deep purple. So they're like sort of twins, the light and the dark. And then from our birthday, the two dips we have left over is this one here, which is Witch's Brew. And that's actually another one I grabbed because it's got a little bit more greens and purples. It's slightly darker, Witch's Brew. And then this one here, which is Jelly Donut. How can you not love a bit of Jelly Donut? This beautiful pinks, and it's just lovely. And that's 4-ply superwash merino. The other 3 are machine washable DK wool. So I mentioned some designs, the Himalayan shawl, which was one from Charles Gandy. But I thought, let's look at a designer and a collection that will give you a whole bunch of ideas that I think will really work. Now, these are all shawls and shawlettes, but I think shawls and shawlettes lend themselves really well to these yarns. Now is a good time to be looking at them, because if you're wanting to do some Christmas knit giving, this is the time to actually get those projects started. So I'm a bit behind. I was actually chatting, that's the other reason I was late. I was chatting to the most fabulous couple who were in the shop from Southland, and we were talking about the diaries, and it was fantastic. And then I suddenly realized the time. I was like, I need to get going. It's so good. Anyway, helps if one. I should have had this I did actually have. I did have this preloaded, but this is what happens when you get gassing. You see, you get gassing with people, and you don't allow yourself to have enough time to come and see you. Right, so I need to make sure, there we go, I jump into the right button. Boom. Right, okay, sorry about that. Let's chat amongst yourselves. Right, let's share this so you guys can see it. Lovely. Okay, there we go. Done. The Hitchhiker collection by Martina Behm. Now, you know that I have talked Hitchhiker. In fact, I forgot to grab the Hitchhiker that was out in the shop. In fact, those top 3 patterns there, I've knitted all 3 of them. Love them. And this is a collection that she has pulled together. And in fact, I have emailed them this morning, because they have this is in soft copy via Revelry, but she does actually have this Hitchhiker collection in a hard copy book, and I'm going to see if I can get it in for Christmas, because I think that would be fantastic. I want it for me, but I'm going to see if I can get it across. So this is the namesake. This is the Hitchhiker, her perennial garter stitch shawl. I have talked about it ad nauseum. I'm not going to bore you about it again, but it is the garter stitch shawl. She's written it for a 4-ply fingering weight yarn, but the reality of it is what I love about Martina's work, she has several signatures. Garter stitch is a real signature of hers. Reversibility is another signature of hers. So a lot of her designs are reversible, hence the love of garter stitch. She also she likes to play around with either layering of stitches, teeth, or short rows. So all of these feature this. So this is the collection here. There are 20 fantastic designs, but I'm going to show you Brickless. Now, Brickless was, December 2012. I cannot believe it's been that long since this pattern has been out. This is a design that she created, oopsie daisies, come back here. There we go. She created using, and you can see it there, 3 sort of levels of sort of bricks layered on top of each other, and they sort of change and alternate in length, and you can play around with this. And what you have is that just here is a ribbing. Oh no, sorry, telling a lie, I'm telling pork pies. That is just a simple yarn over knit to get 2 together lace. This is a ribbing portion through here, and then we have garter stitch bands in between. They're all laid one on top of the other, along with her signature stepping and toothing, and it's also in an asymmetrical shape. So here is the shape here. What I've knit about probably half a dozen of these. You may look at that and think, oh, it's quite long and very, very narrow. I can tell you right now that is not a bad thing. What I love about this particular design is that it has the ability, you can actually wrap it around and around. It can give you some beautiful bulk here in the front if you're wanting to wear it with a jacket. Just as equally, if you have the figure for it, you can actually wear it and wrap it around and tie it around your back and as a crossover. There are so many different ways that you can wear this particular shawl. But the other reason, and actually this wingspan picture shows it off just beautifully, is it works especially well with these yarns because the different patterning here across each one of these bands, as you can see, moves and shifts the colours and bends and twists them and almost creates like a filtering or scattering effect across the entire garment. And it would look really quite amazing. I've knit this, actually, my 2 favourite brickless projects that I have knit. One was in a hand spun yarn that I did many years ago using a printed sliver, and it just moved and shifted all the colours. And in fact, I still wear that scarf today a lot. The other one I did it in was just a classic printed yarn that we'd done here, oh gosh, many moons ago. And it just created, it moved and shifted all the colours around so you didn't get standardized rippling or pooling. And again, I think these would look amazing. In order to get a decent size brickless, you'll need 3 of the DKs to make that work. I have actually done a couple of mine slightly smaller and gotten away with 2, but 3 is probably your happy number, I would have thought, for this particular project. So, and it's 4mm needles, DK yarn. Honestly, you can I've got a funny feeling, I think I even knit my initial one on straight needles. So if you're not a circular needle fan, you can actually do that on straights as well. And it is available for purchase on Ravelry. There you go. So you're looking at around, as an individual pattern, around $10. But if you want to buy the entire collection, that's available too. So that is Hitchhiker. And again, with any of these patterns, you can up and down the needle size according to your yarn, and it just slightly alters the size and the shape of the pattern. This one is no different. I've actually done this brickless. I've actually gone up even further. So I've done, excuse me, I've done DKs. And then I've also done thicker yarns like 10 plies and even chunky yarns, and it's worked beautifully. Right, let's go back. Oh, nothing. Now, the other yarn the other pattern I highlighted, because there are so many. The other pattern I highlighted in here, and look at them all. Aren't they gorgeous? So many. So many. But the other one I highlighted, I like this. Oopsie. Was this one here, Lintilla. So Lintilla is really sweet. It is, again, this one's done in a finer weight yarn, and what she's doing is she's using a mix, and you can kind of just see it there, a mix of garter stitch and short rows to create this beautiful little ruffle. Now, what amazed me about this pattern is this pattern has been around. She's just like re-released this with this collection. This pattern has been around since 2011, and it's timeless, and it has that classic asymmetrical shape. There you go. You can see the little short rows down there on the edging to create this beautiful romantic flutter. this design will suit itself to finer weight yarns. So I just think that lentilla and jelly donut are a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. You would only need 2 jelly donuts in order to make one of these. And the jelly donut will, I mean, this has obviously been using an ombre style yarn. So she's got stripes in her sample. Jelly donut, I think, will give you a little bit more variance and scatter plot and ebb and flow in colour because it is a dip dyed, not a printed yarn. But it is, I just think it would look beautiful with those colours there. Garter stitch, because of the construction of the stitch, actually breaks those colours up, so you don't have that continuation of a smooth fabric yarn like a stocking stitch yarn, and it really does lend itself well to these style of yarns. I just think that is utterly beautiful. It's really romantic. It would make a wonderful gift, a fantastic shawl to wear as a piece for this time of year. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. This one, actually, interestingly enough, is also part of a smaller pattern group collection, as well as the Hitchhiker collection. So you wouldn't necessarily have to buy it in the full collection. And of course, there's the My Niada, which I love. I spotted this one, actually, Sandy. I haven't seen this one before, but I really liked the look of that. It's a really thin, little, long, wrappable shawlette. I just thought that was a really, really, really pretty little shawlette. This one here, to me, instantly spoke some of the lighter shades that we've had. If you actually picked up some of that cascade lace we had on sale, that double stranded into this, amazing. Anyway, I'm going off track. I am going off piste. I'm going off piste as I do. Hey, Margaret, how are you? What did you miss? We did the draws, Margaret. We did the draws. Kate from up north and Janine locally won our 2 draws. So very welcome along to them and congratulations to them. So in the newsletter, do check those out. And yes, as I said, I have contacted Strickmich this morning to see whether or not I can get a wholesale account to get some of the hard copy books out for Christmas. I'm fingers crossed, albeit that with the dollar tanking, it won't be too horrific to get those out, which would be really, really awesome. What else do I have to fill you in on? The girls are going, well, poor Elisa, I dragged her away from down the back. They're going hammer and tongs, getting all the birthday orders out. Thank you so much for everybody that placed an order across our birthday celebration. It was actually a bit sad. We were all in here unpacking all the birthday stuff out of the shop before we opened this morning, but we kept the balloon, the big balloon arch, and we had another big balloon piece in the corner because they just sort of looked happy. We kept those, so do come in and check those out. And we still have a few little bits and pieces in the shop actually available, so if you're coming to visit. Hey Greg, what is the pattern of the cowl that you're wearing? Okay, so the cowl that I'm wearing is one of Maree's round tuits. Like I knitted it a million years ago and thought, oh, that's actually a nice pattern, I'll write that up. However, Charles's new cross-track, I think it was a cross-track shawl that he's just written, is a very, very similar stitch pattern to this. So you could probably, if you've already purchased that shawl, you could probably modify. So what this is, there it is there, is it's just a simple cowl. And I have made this using a single ball of Noro Silk Garden 4-ply, which I bought probably at can 1 or can 2 from Nanette Yarns. And as you can see, I love this. I thrash this cowl. I thrash this cowl because of all the colours that are in there. And Noro do colours like nobody else does. And all I've gone and done with this, I think from memory, this is around 100-ish, about 160-ish, 160, 180 stitches cast on. Might be about 160, 180, somewhere in there. 4mm needle, which is bigger than usual, but because it was a cowl, I didn't mind. And I've just gone round and round and round, and then I can tell you actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every 6 rounds, every 6 rounds. I have done a garter stitch round. So then I've gone one round as a purl row, and then I've gone and done a yarn over knit 2 together, and then the next following round after that was another purl round, and then the row after that was a knit round, and then did another 6 knit rows and repeated that. So write that down, because I'm not going to write that down for you, because that's what I did. I'm amazed I remember that, because this is probably at least, oh God, it'll be 12 years old, this thing. I wear it all the time. I should, I know, I should write it up. My round to it plan. I am going to get round to it one of these days. There are things that are happening. I've got also another hard and row. Oh, there's a million and one things. So many things that I've never written up. Hopeless. Vicky, what is the cardie that I'm wearing? The cardie that I'm wearing is, there you go, just pull it there. This is called Lizzie by Tiki Knits, Georgie Nicholson. And I knit this probably 4 or 5 years ago. It should be at least 5 years ago, I would have thought. Again, this is actually one that Georgie has had at the time that I knitted it. I think she'd had it out for a number of years. I knitted this in it's called Pamir, P-A-M-I-R. It's Filatura de Crosa. It was a yarn that we had at the old shop when it was discontinued, and so we bought in a whole bunch of stock. I think I did a gold project in this as well. I've got a funny feeling in the same yarn. And it's utterly gorgeous. So this yarn is essentially the same construction as our Orb Fine, but this one has got merino cashmere and a little bit of silk in it. So it's utterly beautiful, gorgeous to wear. I have to pill it. I have to depill it all the time because of the cashmere and the silk, but I don't care. And it's got this lovely lace pattern, this nice little bit of cabling. And in fact, I've had to do a few running repairs on the cuff because I catch it on things. There you go. You can see with the depilling. But I love it. I love it. I dug it out. It's one of what I call one of my spring cardigans, because it's just that nice lighter weight, and it's just really adorable. So it is really lovely. And in fact, Deb from Outlaw, we knit ours at the same time. So she's got an identical one in Bohemia Light. It goes fabulously in Bohemia Light. So if you bought a whole bunch of Bohemia Light in the sale and you're wanting something to knit with it, I can definitely tell you that this looks amazing in it, because Deb has knit hers in it, and it looks, I think hers, or was it Vanity? No, I'm sure it was Bohemia Light. It was beautiful, utterly gorgeous. So yeah, it's really nice. Very, very nice. All right, everybody, I'm going to get going, and so I can get all these prizes and everything out and about to you. I will be back on Thursday, so only 2 days to wait, and I'll be back. Until then, have a great rest of week. Hopefully, I'll get some more knitting done to show you on Thursday. And with any luck, we've got a few more dips in the offing. So hopefully today, my goal for the rest of today is to get some more products together and uploaded. So come Thursday, I'll have more to talk to you about. So until then, take care, and I will see you in a couple of days. Take care. Bye.